Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good,
Good morning,
good
ma'am.
morning.
Good morning.
Is it important to make the attendance on the group?
Beta, it is not important, but then some those who have joined again, those who did not join the previous class, they need to come. ये समृद्धि शुक्ला क्यों आ गई है यहाँ पे?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Pavni. Good morning, बच्चे. See, those students who were not in the previous class, they can always tell me. Samriddhi, beta, is it Shaurya or Samriddhi?
Ma'am, it's sure, ma'am. I will change.
The नाम तो change करो बेटा. It is creating confusion. Those who were not in their previous class, they need to tell me their names, please, so that I can put their attendance. Okay.
Ma'am, Ananya.
Ananya was not in
Ma'am,
the.
Mohit Kumar.
Wait. Mohit Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Of C section.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else who has joined late in this class, not in the previous class, of C section? Okay. B section? A section? Aksada?
Ma'am,
Aksada. Who else?
Ma'am, Ayush Sengar.
Ayush Sengar. Okay. Who else? Of A section? Himanshu, you were there in the previous class, no? आप previous class में थे बेटा.
Ma'am, Mahin.
माहिन previous class में नहीं थे आप? थे आप तो previous class में? ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
Ananya was not there, no? B section में?
Yes, ma'am.
Ananya, okay. Who else in B section was not in the previous class? Yes, children? Rest all. I was there. Huh, fine. Those who were not there in the previous class, they need to give their attendance. Rest all I have already marked. Same students, okay? Right. Sharing the screen with you people. We were on.
With constitutional design.
Taking of the Indian
Taking of the
Constitution.
Indian Constitution.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Vitash. ठीक है नहीं हम गलत आ गए. ठीक है. We were here, okay? Ready, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Asking you from
Yes,
right hand side, and second paragraph, right? which were the basic values? Give some basic values which were accepted by all leaders much before the Constituent Assembly met. Which were the basic values, or tell about some basic values, or write about the basic values which were accepted by all leaders much before the Constituent Assembly met to deliberate on the Constitution.
Ma'am, like right
May
to
I?
free.
Ma'am, universal
Ma'am, may I tell?
franchise. Right to
Wait,
Ma'am,
wait.
freedom.
universal adult.
No, Pavni was telling. No, wait. Pavni, tell.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there were certain rights like universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, and also to take the rights of minorities.
Very good. The basic values which were accepted by all leaders much before the Constituent Assembly were inclusion of universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, protecting the rights of the minorities in the Indian Constitution after the independence, right? These three basic values were already there, which was drafted in the Constitution, which was drafted by Motilal Nehru in 1928, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. I hope I am clear to everyone here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Coming to the next page, okay? Okay. Can you tell me which institutional details and procedures were adopted in the Indian Constitution? I repeat, which institutional details and procedures were adopted from the British or the colonial laws? The answer is given in the next page. It is given on the next page here. Last paragraph. Class?
Ma'am, could you repeat the question?
I'm repeating.
Could you please repeat the question?
Repeating, beta. Repeating. My question is, which institutional details and procedures were adopted by the Indian Constitution from the colonial rulers?
Ma'am, the Government of India Act 1935.
And
The practice of parliamentary
Ma'am,
democracy.
the practice of elections
the practice of
in 1937. Provincial legislature.
Very good, very good, very good. What else?
Ma'am, social and economic equality.
That was that was taken from?
Ma'am, the socialist revolution in Russia.
But I am talking about the British. Only
Okay.
only the ones which were like you said, the Government of India Act 1935. Now, what was this Government of India Act 1935? Do you remember? Anybody who remembers? Huh?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Dekho, Government of India Act 1935 was about, you know, that It was about the establishment of federal, provincial and joint public service commissions. ठीक है, 1935 में बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस को अग्री करा था, द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट अग्रीड कि ये सब चीजें हम करेंगे, मतलब इंडिया में हम रखेंगे। तो इसमें जो था एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, फिर आपका एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ फेडरल, प्रोविंशियल, जॉइंट पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशंस, ठीक है। इन सब चीजों का जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल गवर्नमेंट इन इंडिया जो था, उसके लिए जो है ये स्टेपिंग स्टोन था उसके लिए, क्योंकि उसके बाद ही हमारे कंट्री में जो ये जो इंस्टीट्यूशनल जो स्ट्रक्चर बना था, ये सब जो है बाद 1935 के एक्ट के बाद ही आया था। अच्छा ठीक है, ध्रुव हैज रेज्ड हैंड। यस ध्रुव, व्हाट डू यू वांट टू आस्क और यू वांट टू से? बताओ।
Nothing, ma'am. It was previous.
No?
Ma'am, it was for the previous question.
It was for the previous question. Okay, not for this question. Fine. This answer is clear to you, people? My question was, which
Yes,
institutional
ma'am.
details and procedures were adopted in the Indian Constitution from the colonial rulers? So the Government Act of 1935, where the provision of institutions were agreed, RBI, federal system, provincial system, all these systems were introduced by the British through this act, and they gave permission to have these in the country. Then next was the system of provincial the system of legislatures. ठीक है, हमारे कंट्री में ये प्रोविजन नहीं था, पर क्योंकि ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने इसको ऑलरेडी इनिशिएट किया हुआ था, लेजिस्लेचर्स के लिए इलेक्शंस होते थे, तो इंडिया ने इसी सिस्टम को फॉलो करना बेटर समझा जब हम स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर्स की बात करते हैं। ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर क्लास?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। ओके, from which country we have adopted the parliamentary democracy?
Britain.
Britain. Very
Britain.
good. From which
Ma'am,
country?
Britain.
Yes, from which country we have adopted Bill of Rights?
US.
US.
Uh, from which country we have adopted the system based on social and economic equality?
South Africa.
Ma'am, Russia.
South Africa.
Russia.
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 Russia. Then from which country we have adopted the ideals of liberty, fraternity and freedom?
Ma'am, France.
France.
France. Very
France.
good. Very good. ठीक है।
Ma'am, liberty wasn't there in France itself.
No, after the French Revolution it was there, no? So after the French
No,
Revolution,
ma'am, slaves.
अरे बाबा, liberty for the people of the France. Slaves were the ones who were brought from different countries and continents.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ, ठीक है। Now, what were the
Ma'am, then
elected?
women.
हाँ,
Ma'am, then what about women's? Women's were also not given rights.
बेटा
in
लिबर्टी
1946.
लिबर्टी का मतलब होता है कि आपको आजादी दी गई है किसी चीज की, है ना? तो वो वहां पे थी भाई। विमेन वर इनिशियली एजुकेशन पे एसेस नहीं था, पहले उनको डिवोर्स का हक नहीं था। तो जब लिबर्टी का कॉन्सेप्ट आया तो उनको इतनी लिबर्टी मिली कि वो अपने पेरेंट्स की परमिशन के बगैर शादी कर सकती हैं, वो अपनी पेरेंट्स की मर्जी के बगैर जो है डिवोर्स ले सकती हैं, वो अपनी मर्जी से पढ़ाई कर सकती हैं। पहले तो ये प्रोविजंस भी नहीं थे ना, पहले तो बट देवर कंप्लीटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन दी बिफोर मैरिज देवर कंप्लीटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन फादर्स एंड आफ्टर मैरिज ऑन हर हस्बैंड। बट बाद में ये हुआ
Okay, ma'am.
आफ्टर रेवोल्यूशन सर्टेन नॉर्म्स चेंज। कंप्लीटली तो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं हुआ, ऑफ कोर्स वोटिंग राइट्स नहीं मिल पाए थे
Yes,
बहुत
ma'am.
जल्दी, सॉरी। बट बेटा, इज द रिकॉर्डिंग गोइंग ऑन?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It was not showing.
Yes.
हाँ, तो इनिशियली जो चीजें नहीं थी बिफोर रेवोल्यूशन फ्रांस में, आफ्टर रेवोल्यूशन मेनी थिंग्स चेंज्ड फॉर विमेन. ठीक है, बिकॉज भाई विमेन क्लब्स आ गए थे, उन्होंने भी प्रोटेस्ट करना शुरू करा, सफ्रेजेट मूवमेंट्स इनिशिएट करे, तो इन सब चीजों का कहीं ना कुछ इम्पैक्ट तो आया ही था. ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to the draft, this thing. Okay. Coming to this page. Okay. In which year election to the Constituent Assembly were held?
July 1946.
July 95.
1946.
Okay, July 1946. Now, when was the first meeting held for the drafting of constitutions of the Indian Constitution?
December 1946.
December 1946.
December 1946. Very good. How many members collectively?
299.
299.
Dinesh, let me finish my question. Okay. On which date the Constitution?
26 November 1949.
26 November 1949. And in which year and on date, which date it came into effect?
26 January
26 January
1950.
1950.
Okay.
Ma'am, you told one reason for taking the date 26 January. I couldn't write it, ma'am. Can you please repeat that?
Just a second. I'll tell you. Wait. Now, to mark this day, to bring this constitution effect, how do we celebrate this day?
Republic Day.
We celebrate it as Republic Day every year. पहले जानते हैं, there were many people who were not aware कि भाई हम Republic Day क्यों मनाते. तो एक बार एक ऐसे ही I was going through one of the news channels, तो they were asking, ये हो गई कम से कम काफी. हाँ जी बेटा, somebody said something. नहीं, तो जो है बहुत लोगों से पूछा, बहुत बच्चों से भी पूछा कि भाई आप कहाँ जा रहे हो. बोले हम 26 जनवरी बनाने जा रहे हैं. तो बोले क्यों जा रहे हो? बोले क्योंकि आज हम आजाद हुए थे. तो आजाद नहीं हुए थे. 26 जनवरी is celebrated because it is considered as the day when our country got its written laws. ठीक है.
Laws.
अब coming to your question वीरेश, बेटा 26 जनवरी पहले हमारा इंडिपेंडेंस डे जो है वो डिक्लेयर हुआ था. 26 नवंबर को पहले इंडिपेंडेंस डे डिक्लेयर करा गया था.
I think पूर्ण स्वराज was declared on this day.
हाँ, गार्गी क्या बोल रहे हो बेटा, बताओ.
I think पूर्ण स्वराज was declared on this day.
हाँ, क्योंकि पूर्ण स्वराज डिक्लेयर हुआ था और उन्होंने कहा था कि भाई हमारा इंडिपेंडेंस भी जो है हम इसी दिन जो है सेलिब्रेट करेंगे. बट हमारा इंडिपेंडेंस डे जो था वो आ गया था आपका 15 अगस्त को. ठीक है. तो इसलिए 26 जनवरी नवंबर जो था, फिर ये कहा गया कि इसको हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे मान लेंगे और 26 जनवरी जो है उसको हम रिपब्लिक डे सेलिब्रेट करेंगे. ठीक है. हाँ, इसीलिए ये हुआ था. ठीक.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. अच्छा, अब ये बताओ, why we need to accept the constitution that we have? Why should we accept
Ma'am, the constitution.
Yes, tell.
Ma'am, because it does
Ma'am,
not reflect the views of its members alone, but reflects the views of each and every religion of the country.
What else can be the reason?
Ma'am, because Constitution is a living document and it can be amended.
It can be amended. Very good. Under the provision of constitutional amendment as a fundamental right. Okay. What else?
Yeah.
Ma'am, it has all its basic rules.
नहीं, फर्स्ट रीजन तो ये हो गया कि भाई that no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution, because whatever laws are there in the constitution, they do not they do not reflect the views of its members alone. Because all the members, like if you talk about the members of the constituent assembly, they were from every caste creed. ऐसा नहीं था कि सारे हाई क्लास हिंदूज थे उसमें, या सारे के सारे जो है दलित्स थे, या कुछ ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था. इट कंप्राइज्ड ऑफ ऑल द पीपल हु वर पार्ट ऑफ द सोसाइटी. मतलब उस टाइम पे जब ऐसा कहा जाता है, लोग ऐसा कहते हैं कि जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना हमारा, तो जो भी इलेक्शंस हुए थे, है ना, जैसे अमूमन क्या होता है आज की डेट में, अगर आप देखो ऐसा कुछ अगर डिसीजन लिया जाएगा, तो पीपल विल डेलिबरेटली ट्राई टू पुट एवरी टाइप ऑफ मेंबर इन इट. बट उस टाइम पे ऐसा कुछ डेलिबरेटली नहीं हुआ था. जो जितने भी मेंबर्स उस हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली का पार्ट थे, वो विदाउट चूजिंग देम, डेलिबरेटली नहीं, बल्कि ऐसे ही रैंडमली उनको चूज करा गया था. और उनके थिंकिंग एबिलिटीज, उनके जो है इंटेलेक्चुअल आइडियाज जो थे, उन सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए. बट अगर आप देखो तो जब भी हम मेंबर्स ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली की बात करते हैं, उनमें हर वो मेंबर था जिसने अपने अपने जिस भी कम्युनिटी या सोसाइटी, जिस भी कम्युनिटी या रिलीजियस ग्रुप कह लो, या आप सोशल ग्रुप कह लो, वो अपने अपने एक अलग अलग उस ग्रुप्स के जो है वो आया था. ठीक है, बट इसको जानबूझ के नहीं लिया गया था, डेलिबरेटली नहीं लिया गया था. ये रैंडमली इनको पिक किया गया था, और रैंडमली पिक करने पर भी दे वर पार्ट.
Pardon, ma'am.
यस बेटा. यस वीरेश, आस्क.
Ma'am, I couldn't hear you. Can you please pardon?
Acha. What I am saying is that, like, why we should accept the constitution. First reason is that it does not reflect the views of its members alone. Second reason for accepting is that the constitution it represented the people of India. It does not represented the social groups or religious groups of the country or the community members of the country. Rather, it represented the people of India. There was no, at that time, when this was done, when the people were being chosen for the Constituent Assembly, there was no universal adult franchise, no elections were held, no Constituent Assembly was there. People were directly taken. And when they came up, when all these people, they became the member, they ensured a fair geographical share of members from all the regions of the country. ठीक है, हर जगह हर तरह का था. आप अगर मेंबर्स की वो लिस्ट आके देखोगे, साउथ से भी थे, वेस्ट से भी थे, ईस्ट से भी थे, और नॉर्थ से भी थे. ठीक है, ईस्ट वेस्ट नॉर्थ साउथ सब जगह से, हाँ, सब जगह से जो है कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली के मेंबर्स आए थे. ठीक है, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the manner in which the Constituent Assembly worked gives the sanctity to the constitution. एक sacredness, एक piousness देती है वो, क्योंकि जितने भी लोगों ने अपने views रखे in bringing the laws into force, उनका कोई ऐसा self motive था ही नहीं. किसी ने भी ये नहीं चाहा कि मैं अपने लोगों के बारे में ज्यादा कुछ कर लूं, या मेरी कम्युनिटी के लिए मैं कुछ ज्यादा कर लूं. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था. जो भी लॉज प्रैक्टिस में आए, उन सब में जो है जो भी चीजें थी, वो जो है सबने कलेक्टिवली अग्री करा था उनको. अगर आप देखो, देयर इज अ वीडियो, हम आपको लिंक शेयर करेंगे, मेकिंग ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. उसको आप देखिएगा. इट इज मतलब एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनाई गई है जिसमें बताया गया है कि किस तरीके से घंटों घंटों डिबेट्स होते थे, डिस्कशंस होते थे. कोई एक लॉ जैसे उन्होंने बनाया है ना, तो उस पे घंटों घंटों डिबेट हो रहा है, डिस्कशंस चल रहे हैं कि भाई क्यों हम इसको एक्सेप्ट करें, क्यों ना एक्सेप्ट करें. तो जैसे अगर 2 लोग उसके फेवर में हैं, तो 4 लोग उसके अगेंस्ट हैं. तो उन 4 लोगों से पूछा गया कि भाई आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं चाहते हो, या आपका क्या मोटिव है इस चीज को नहीं लाने में. तो बाकी लोग, तो इतना ज्यादा डिस्कशन, डिबेट्स और ये सब चीजें हुई कि उसको जो है ऐसा नहीं था कि हमने बोला अच्छा ठीक है भाई आज हम चलो ये लॉ लेके आते हैं कि भाई से XYZ कोई भी. ठीक है, जिसमें कि जैसे हमने आपको एक एग्जांपल दिया था अभी प्रीवियस क्लास में कि 39A आर्टिकल के अंडर जो है डिफेंस लॉयर प्रोवाइड करने की फैसिलिटी दी गई. ठीक है, तो अगर ऐसा प्रोविजन रखा गया, तो अगर 4 लोग वर अगेंस्ट, तो 2 लोग जो थे वो उनके फेवर में थे। उन्होंने कहा कि भाई ये स्थिति तो किसी के साथ भी आ सकती है, जरूरी नहीं है कि हर इंसान जो है इतना वेल ऑफ हो कि वो हायर कर सके। तो हमें कुछ ऐसा प्रोविजन करना पड़ेगा जिसमें कि भाई लोगों को गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से एक जो है सपोर्ट मिले। तो जब ये लॉ बना होगा, हो सकता है बहुत लोगों ने इसके अगेंस्ट में रहे होंगे, बहुत सारे लोग इसके फेवर में भी रहे होंगे, ऐसा नहीं है कि सभी लोग इसके अगेंस्ट रहे होंगे, बट हर किसी को राजी करना, टू ब्रिंग एवरीबडी अंडर वन थॉट प्रोसेस, दिस वाज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क। वीरेश, जैसे आपकी क्लास में बहुत अलग अलग लोग हैं, ठीक है, बट अगर आप लोग किसी प्रोजेक्ट पे कलेक्टिवली काम करते हो तो आर्ग्यूमेंट्स वगैरह सब होंगे, बट जैसे आपने आर्ट इंटीग्रेशन प्रोजेक्ट बनाया अपना, तो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि सब लोग एक ही चीज पे एग्री हो गए होंगे, एक ही बार में एग्री हो गए होंगे।
Yes, ma'am.
सबने अपने अपने व्यू पॉइंट्स दिए होंगे कि नहीं ऐसे करते हैं, ऐसे करते हैं, बट अल्टीमेटली ये होता है कि भाई हम अल्टीमेटली उस चीज को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं या फॉलो करते हैं या डिसाइड करते हैं कि उसी के अकॉर्डिंग करेंगे, जिसमें हमें लगता है कि हम सबको एक्सप्लोर करने के बेटर चांसेस मिलेंगे। ठीक है, गॉट माई पॉइंट?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
हाँ, तो जब हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना तब भी ऐसा ही हुआ था। ठीक है, चलिए, ये तो हो गया आपका एक लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन, 3 मार्क्स में भी आता है, ये 5 मार्क्स में भी आता है। ठीक है, who drafted the Indian Constitution?
Constituent Assembly.
Okay, who prepared a final
The
draft?
drafting committee.
Who prepared a final draft of the Indian Constitution?
Constituent.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a final draft for the Constitution of the Indian Constitution. Very good. How much time did it take to prepare the Indian Constitution?
2 years, 11 months, and 18 days.
2 years.
2 years, 11 months, and 18
days.
18 days.
Very good. Very good. Then, how many amendments were considered?
42.
How many amendments were considered? More than 2000 amendments. more than 2। आप ये देख लो, इस नंबर से आप ये एज्यूम कर सकते हो कि कितना टाइम टेकिंग रहा होगा ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाने का प्रोसेस, है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes.
Okay. Who wrote the magazine? Who wrote Young India?
Mahatma Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi.
It was Mahatma Gandhi. Very good. In which year?
Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
In which year?
1931.
Very good.
I mean
1931.
1931.
One.
Why do we have reference of this Young India here in this chapter? Why do we have reference of this Young India?
Ma'am, because it was Gandhiji's point of view that how what he wanted the constitution to do.
Exactly. See, Gandhiji was, if you will go through the, these pictures which are shared on which are there on your book of the members of the Constituent Assembly, many of the people, they questioned that why Gandhiji's photo is not there. Gandhiji was never part of this constitution. Do you know? He never was the part of Constituent Assembly nor the drafting committee. He was nowhere. But in his book, Young India, he had mentioned that what
he represented his views.
What exactly he wanted the constitution to be, like what all things he wanted that the constitution should have in it. This was mentioned long time back in Young India by Gandhiji. So taking help of that book, many of the provisions that we have in the constitution are from there only. So it is not necessary that practically we have that person with us, right? So whatever his ideas and dreams were, all of those things were kept in mind while framing the Indian Constitution, right?
Gandhiji even said that we shouldn't have any democratic government. It should be like that all people are there without government living harmoniously.
But the problem was that it was not very easy task. है ना? Had it been that way, it would have been really very good. But because democratic government means elected representatives where people are the real rulers. हम ही राज हमारा ही शासन है ये, क्योंकि हमने इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स जो है उनको खड़ा कराया वहां पे, है ना? ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Coming to the next point, next question. Important one. Okay. Now tell me, what do you mean by sovereign? Anybody in the class?
People have the supreme right to make decisions on internal as well as external matters. No external power can control India.
No external power can control the country.
Government of India.
Huh?
No external power can control the government of India.
Yes. Or in other term, if we have to explain what is this sovereign, how will you explain?
Ma'am, the people have the supreme right over their own country. No other power is there.
No. See, sovereign means without any foreign control. Okay? Nobody governs us. Nobody rules over us. We are our own masters. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We are our own masters. Nobody dictates us on any issue. ठीक है? Sovereign का मतलब ये होता है free of foreign control. What is this preamble? What do you mean by preamble?
Ma'am, it is the introduction of the whole constitution.
To the constitution.
It is the preamble is the introduction to the Indian Constitution. Very good. Very. What is meant by socialist state? What is
where the
wealth is generated socially and
divided equally among the society?
Dubara. Repeat again. Nobody to interfere in between. Yes, Gargi.
Ma'am, socialist means that wealth is generated socially and it is shared equally by the society.
See, whatever wealth is generated, it has to be shared equally by the society, and government should regulate the ownership of land and industry to reduce socio-economic inequality. Socialist economy, Russian economy socialist economy है. हमने पढ़ा है ना कि रशिया में जो है socialism को follow करा जाता है, where everyone is given the share in the profit. ठीक है? Which is owned by the गवर्नमेंट. हमारे कंट्री में भी ये होता है कि हमारा जो गवर्नमेंट जो प्रॉफिट शेयर लेती है वो अपने एम्प्लॉइज में जो है शेयर कर लेती है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ बोनसेस और द इंसेंटिव्स दैट आर गिवन टू देम. ठीक है? वी आर टॉकिंग
India is social.
No, India is not. India is a mixed economy where socialism is followed.
But in the preamble it's written it's socialist.
It is a socialist. By India, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Sovereign मतलब जहाँ पे किसी का कंट्रोल नहीं है, किसी भी बाहरी पावर का कंट्रोल नहीं है. भाई हम इंडिपेंडेंट हुए थे फ्रॉम द फॉरेन कंट्रोल. ठीक है? हमने ब्रिटिश रूल को जो है खत्म करा अपने कंट्री से. फिर हमने अपने आप को सोशलिस्ट बनाना चाहा. सोशलिस्ट इन द सेंस जो भी प्रॉफिट कंट्री को मिलता है इट इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड अमंग द पीपल. सोशलिस्ट का मतलब ये है यहाँ.
ओके मैम.
ठीक है? सेक्युलर का मतलब क्या होता है? व्हाट इज मेंट बाय सेक्युलर? सृष्टि बताओ बेटा.
नो रिलीजन.
सृष्टि.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ बताओ. what does secular means over here?
Ma'am, secular means that in a state, there is no religious state. Everyone can follow their religion and the government could not interfere in it.
Huh. See, yes, Pavni, you tell. Pavni?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Secular means that every citizen has the complete right to follow any religion of their own choice, and they cannot discriminate. Government cannot discriminate people on the basis of their religion.
Yes. See, secular means India is a country where there is no official religion. People are not bound to follow any particular religion. Rather, they are given religious freedom. They are given religious freedom in the sense that they can follow, practice, profess any religion. They are not bound to follow any particular religion. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what does this democratic means?
Ma'am, where
Ma'am,
the people are given
Ma'am, where the government is
right.
elected by the people.
Huh. Yes, Gargi? Tell.
Ma'am, democratic means that where the people are given some basic rights which can't be denied, and the people are the real rulers of the country.
Yes, they are the real people enjoy the power of choosing their representatives, and they give those elected representatives the chance to rule over them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, very good. Next is, what is republic over here?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
republic
the
means that the head of the state is an elected person.
Yes, republic means that the head of the state is an elected person.
And not from a hereditary position.
Now, what does this hereditary position means?
Ma'am,
Like the monarch.
ma'am, the
Monarchy.
Like the monarch. Great.
monarchy,
Very good. Like the monarchy or the monarch. See,
dictatorship.
in our country, if like for example, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee was the president of the country, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Now, now he was a chosen head, right? Elected person who was chosen as the head of the state. But because this presidentship is not a hereditary position, so it is not necessary that after his death, or if there is a vacancy in that, after he resigns, his son or his any person from his family will become the head of the state. This provision in our constitution is not given to anybody, right? It is a position, republic, this elected head position is the position which is given to the deserving person who is chosen by the the electorate college that we have. Sorry, what do we call it? Yes, electorate college that chooses the head of the state, right? We indirectly choose the
yes, ma'am.
president. We indirectly choose the president of the country. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what is this fraternity means?
Ma'am, that the
Ma'am,
citizens
it
of the
means
country should have the feeling of brotherhood.
respect the feeling.
That we all are, that we all